Blog Talk Radio.
Today is Monday, March 1st. Can you believe it? 2021, and this is Foxology. I am Silver Ray Fox, your host. Happy Monday and happy Master Your Mindset Monday. You know how excited I get when it's this time of the month, the first Monday of the month. We do what we do. It's the day we take a short cruise through the neighborhoods of our minds to see what we can see. No, we're not being nosy. No. But we do want to know what you're thinking. We want to see if you got some stuff you want to throw out. We want to know if you got some backyard junk that you need to dispose of. We want to see if you have some stuff stored that you should have just tossed out a long time ago. Yeah, we are checking out the neighborhoods in our minds. Today is as good a day as any to clean up, clear out, and clear the way for some masterful thinking. I know you agree with me. Oh, my God. Some of the dreadful things we can do with our minds and with our thinking, and we believe it. So if you're wondering which neighborhoods we're going into today, well, it's called So You Think You're Old. And just down the way from that is Over the Hill. And just a little further down, there's another sign. You know what it says? You're entering. No way. Aging the old way does not live here anymore. I was going to sing that for you guys, but I think I'll ask Cassandra to do it. You know what? I've heard people in their 30s and 40s say I'm getting old. So it helps us see and understand why many people, by the time they hit 50 or 60, have climbed the hill, gone over the hill, sat down at the bottom of the hill, and decided to live there. That's not good. I'm hoping today that we can help us all take another look, a new and different perspective on aging that will help us enter in and embrace a new path. And this one doesn't take you over the hill. It takes you on a different journey. To a peak? Yes, indeed. But this one is called Aging Awesomely. Well, you know who I do this with every month, right? My radio BFF, TV and radio host, the superstar, I like to call her, Cassandra McShepard. She's joining me as per usual for this edition of Master Your Mindset Monday. Welcome, Cassandra.
Silver, always a pleasure. I just love these intros that you give me. I swear every time we talk, I get another R. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a superstar with some extra R's. I'm okay with that.
Well, you know, you're one of those people that are so awesomely doing what you do. You deserve every R. Absolutely, you
I'll
do.
take it.
So
I will take
yes,
it.
indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, you know, we're going to approach this conversation today. Both of us are real grown girls, and so we know we feel qualified to talk about what we're talking about, and hopefully get some folks inspired to change maybe some of the things that they do, change their mind at least, or at least, you know, kind of take a peek in the neighborhood where they need to make some changes and think it over. But I broke it down into a few categories, and they are your health, your habits, and your happiness, people. So we're going to dive into that. And Cassandra, you know, when I decided that those three categories would be, I thought about your life in particular because I know how extremely health conscious you have been all of your life and such an exercise enthusiast and trainer. But you know what else came to my mind? And I want to start by talking about her because it's such a phenomenal story. I remember when your mom broke her hip and you brought her back brought her back. I mean, and a lot of people with certain types of thinking, old neighborhood thinking, would have just not, they would have
her doctors
it.
included. Her doctors included. Yes.
Tell that story, would you?
Yes. So my mother was diagnosed, and I guess, matter of opinion, relatively early with Alzheimer's at about age 66, 67. And so by about the time she was 70, she had fallen and broken her hip. She fell and she broke her hip and her wrist. And, of course, this was a hospital emergency call and hospital stay. Well, her doctor, her surgeon, wanted to put her in a nursing home for rehabilitation and therapy. And because of her diminishing cognition, I wanted her to be able to come home because we were fighting. I mean, bones knit back together. We are so miraculously made. We are so miraculously made that if we do not prevent our healing, the body was designed to heal naturally. But it was her cognition, it was her brain, her mind that we were fighting for. And so her doctor, knowing me because I was, always at her her appointments with her, fought for her to be able to come home. Now, before my mother fell and broke her hip, I was training her, and my brother was training my father. I have a gym, and they would come twice a week. And I would give her dumbbells to curl and have her walk on the treadmill and all of this. Well, the doctor put screws in her hips, and it was a 6 to 8 week non-weight-bearing kind of recovery or recuperation. So I moved back into their home. She had a hospital bed, and I trained her from that hospital bed. I strapped ankle weights on the cast of the broken wrist and had her curl the wrist to curl her biceps, and trained her from the hospital bed, having her do stand up and sit down with her strong leg. And Silver, this happened on the weekend of July 4th. By October of that same year, she was back to walking 15 minutes on the treadmill. Now, her doctor thought it was a miracle. The surgeon could not believe it. But I knew that I was not going to let my mother go. And if she went into a care facility where she would lay around for however many hours until they would take her to physical therapy and ask her to do whatever they were going to ask her to do. In the hospital, they gave her 3-pound dumbbells. Well, Mother was curling 8 to 10s before she fell, and they were also, one of the things that was really frustrating to me is they were not kind. They were rough with her, and I wasn't having that. So it was really wonderful, and even though I knew where I was going in terms of her recovery, it was miraculous to see it as well. It was, and it just showed me that we age in large part because of what we believe about aging. Once we are in the system, in the healthcare system, we age in large part, and our health outcomes in large part depend upon the service that we get, the care that we get, the doctors that we have, and what they believe about our chances about aging and recuperation. And, I know God is on the throne, and God don't do broken bones. He don't do sickness. He don't do any of that. So I feel like I don't have to either. And the thing that I have learned about the body, it's an amazing thing. It will do what you ask it to if you don't talk it out of doing
it. I love that. I love that. That's absolutely
it's
right.
True.
I wanted you to share that story because, I said to you that people will take a different approach, and you just said that so wonderfully. And I really hope and pray that encourages people because we will take the lead, of course, in some cases, and we're not just saying this is an absolute, but in some cases, the doctor, you better follow through because they know best. But when you think about the things that Cassandra just explained about how our bodies are made and, you know, how our body knows how to rebuild and all of that, keep that in mind depending on what the illness or the injury to you may be. And don't allow yourself to say, well, I'm getting old, and so this is how it is, and, you know, I just have to deal with it like it is. Well, Cassandra's mom is a perfect example of no, you don't. No way.
Yes.
Like I said in the beginning, no way.
And my mother, bless her heart, did only. No, go on.
I was just going to say challenge yourself, but you go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, what I was going to say is my mother did what I asked her to do, and I asked a lot out of her. And the thing, for many people, the challenge is that self-motivation and that self-start. But that's not necessarily the conversation that we're having. We're talking about aging and how we age. And if you do what you need, what you know you need to do, if you move your body, if you stay healthy, if you stay in your life, look, for us, Silver, on our stilettos and present in our bodies, the body has no choice but to respond. That's what it's designed to do, and it does. Let me share another myth, because there's so many myths about aging as it relates to our health. You know, everybody knows that a woman, that by the time you hit your mid-50s, losing weight is just a fantasy. It's just a dream. Well, I had gone to the doctor. I may have been 53, 54, 50-something, and was carrying around some extra desserts. And I said to him, because my blood pressure, he wanted to increase my blood pressure medicine, and I said, no, we need to be working on weaning me off of this because I don't believe in pills. And he said, well, you know, with your diet. And I said, but you don't know, Dr. Patel, what I eat. What are you talking about? And with your weight, and I said, okay. Okay, first of all, I said, well, you know what, Dr. Patel, I'm going to lose some weight. And the expression that he gave me, it was as pleasantly condescending, if there could be such a thing. And that, Silver, just pissed me off. So, you know, I went back for my next year checkup 30 pounds lighter, which was 7 years ago, and I have maintained that and taken off some more weight. And again, I say now, if I had believed in him, and I am now not on blood pressure medication at all, if I had believed in him, and he did not mean me any harm, he was not trying to hurt me, but he thought he was talking to whatever he believed about middle-aged black women. That's who he thought he was talking to. And we definitely know that depending upon how we present, we get different care from healthcare practitioners. And so I said, no, I'm not. I don't have to do that. So I want you to know. Now, losing weight at 50-something was a little bit more challenging than at 20-anything. But it happened, and it happened in a very short period of time. I lost 30 pounds in about 4 months, did not starve, had no surgical procedures, and took no drugs to do it.
I remember.
I remember. So it's possible.
You just disciplined yourself with it, and it happened.
I took a real look at what I was eating, first of all, and then I moved my body more. Just that simple.
Yeah. And I really do hope that people will hear what just happened in this part of the show about the rehabilitation for your mom and how it was challenging, but it was the right change to make and right way to think about it. And you know, you got her going, and you know that it is amazing. It does seem like a miracle that it did happen, but again, our encouragement is just pay attention to what you think you need to do, and if you were somebody that was already working out and doing stuff and active and all of that, don't go down on the bottom of the hill and sit there. Don't do that to yourself. And then you just heard Cassandra say how losing the weight, she was able to get off of blood pressure meds. That's pretty awesome in itself too. So people, you know, Again, I'm going to make sure I'm not saying anything that I think is for everybody, because we don't know everybody. But as you always say,
True.
If it's not you, we're not talking to you then. But we're talking to people who...
Excuse us, we didn't mean you. But, right.
Right. So we do what we do because we know, in fact, that it does encourage and it helps a lot of people. So, well, Cassandra, there's something else I want you to share, because I know that in your training you work with grown girls too.
Yes.
And so talk about that a little bit too, because you're not typically working with the 20-year-old set. You're working with grown girls like us.
Yes, and I am so blessed to have my own gym. And so when COVID hit and everybody, went indoors and life kind of came to a screeching halt in many ways, I was able to really pump up or hype up my workout. And so I have a workout partner whom I had just started working out with a year ago, so when all of this started. And then I started training a woman who is 59. My workout partner is 60. And the changes that I have seen in their bodies are phenomenal. But the changes that I have seen in their self-confidence, because they are stronger. Mm-hmm. My workout partner would always say I couldn't even walk up the stairs carrying my grocery without becoming tired and without heavy breathing. Both have lost a tremendous amount of weight, but more importantly, there is muscle mass and sculpting and tone. You see, but the thing about, again, how miraculously we are made, muscle doesn't age. Skin gets thin. That is definitely one of the things that I have not found a way around, unless, of course, you pump it with the muscle. you fill them up with muscles, and it's not sagging. I am not, there's a lot about, turning back the clock, and I'm not trying to do that. I am just redefining what 60 looks like. It's not about stopping the aging process. It's not about that. But we have such distorted and I will say unrealistic views about how we have to age in this country. And because we do not say, no, many of us age exactly the way we are expected to. I can't tell you exactly, as you said in your opening, how often people say, well, I'm old. I say, well, I'm not. I'm here. But I'm grown. But old.
Yes, I get it.
So what are you giving yourself an excuse to do? Silver, I have been, and I am 61, I think. I'm 61, yes. So many days throughout the week, I'm working out twice. Right? I'm working out twice a day. I work out with my workout partner, and then I train this woman, which is still having me work out. I squat 200 pounds, bench press 135, leg press 600.
Wow.
Yes. You know why? Because I asked my body to do it and didn't talk myself out of it. Now, I didn't go in doing that. But I've been working out, as you say, for a very long time, and I know that if you position yourself, if you ask yourself, working out, especially working with weights, is something that takes some knowledge, takes some help if you don't have the information, but it's easy to get the information because you can injure yourself. But walking, especially if you're not trying to build muscle, which I think you should, because, of course, as you talk about what fights against arthritis is definitely denser bones. And another thing that I can't see a way around, according to what they say, is as we get older, our bones become less dense. But weight-bearing exercise is the fountain of youth, if you will, for that change of time. But just being in your life, another well, actually, I'm going. This is my jam, so I could talk about this all day. But I'm going to let you go through your paces because you have another one coming up that I think is very important also. So, all right, any other stories you want me to tell?
Well, I know. Well, I just know that over the years you've worked with women that are older, typically, and I just, I just wanted to make sure I emphasize that to people that don't say I can't do it because you can. Don't make an excuse for not doing exercise. You don't have to do it as Cassandra is doing it. She's been doing it a long time, so she can do that. But even if you can work a light exercise into your life, you're going to feel better because that's just how it works. You're going to get your blood pumping, and you're going to, stimulate your muscles and cells. And it does not have to be something that leaves you out of breath and thinking that you could never do it again. It doesn't have to be that. And if that's what happened, you chose the wrong exercise. That's not what's supposed to happen. So please keep in mind that this portion of this conversation is designed to encourage you toward telling yourself that you can do it. If you're not doing it, that you can do it. And I particularly asked Cassandra to share those things, and especially the story about her mother, to show that there is rehabilitation and restoration that can happen if you put your mind to it. And that's what we're talking about, mastering your mindset. But just be careful not to go with the other theory that you can't. When I said that, we tell ourselves a lot of stuff and we believe it, unfortunately we really do. But challenge yourself to change your thinking about this on aging and keep exercising until you just get on out of here. Okay? That's what we want to see you do.
Yes. As long as you walk, you can walk. As long as you work out, you can work out. It's just that simple. And if you haven't been doing either or anything, you can't. I've trained people. One of my clients broke her foot, but she still came. And so she sat down, and I worked her out. And we even worked out legs. There is a way if you're willing. And again, like I said, I want to stay in my heels. So I'm highly motivated.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I am not wearing comfortable shoes. This is not happening.
No. We're going to opt for cuteness every time for sure.
I should say sensible shoes, orthopedic. Okay, but go on.
Well, I just wanted to add, my daughter asked me the other day, she joined an ab challenge, and she asked if I wanted her to send me the video to participate. Excuse me, I got an itch in my throat. And I said, well, sure, go ahead and send it to me. Let me take a look at it. She said, well, it's pretty, it's fast paced and it's not something easy. I said, well, send it to me. Let me take a look at it. It's one of those types of exercise programs or videos where you only get 10 seconds to rest between each exercise that you're doing. Like circuit training. And I really wanted to challenge myself to see how I would feel about it. So she sent it to me. I watched the whole video first, and I told her, I said, there's this thing where you're in the plank position, and then you do your twist to the left, and then you twist your body to the right. And I thought, okay, well, I've never done anything like that, but I did. After I watched it once, the next day I actually did the exercise workout, and I was just, I was delighted with myself because I needed to be, I wanted to know that I was still that strong in my core, and it was really neat. But I'm saying that to say that sometimes you don't know all you got. You just got to put it in, try it and see what works for you. And again, if it's not leaving you feeling, energized, empowered, maybe a little achy, but if it's not feeling like that, then you may have to, keep trying until you find what it is that you should be doing for yourself, because there is something, and it's certainly a good thing to ask someone who is a professional with the sensitivities like Cassandra. because some of that other stuff you'll feel like you want to die by the next day, depending on who your trainer
you know what,
is.
and let's say this also: enlisting a walking buddy is also a very, very good thing. It's a very good thing. And as it relates to health, also diet, what we eat. I know, Silver, that as we keep waking up, we realize that we no longer have a taste for certain foods, or certain foods don't sit right with us, or they don't digest well in our bodies. What does not work for you, let it go and find out what does.
Right, exactly. Well, it looks like Cassandra's call dropped, but I'm sure she's going to call right back in. But I want to mention what other things are on the list while she attempts to reconnect with us. In addition to the exercise, once you find your groove with that, I want you to think about possibly adding some supplements as well, too. Thanks for coming back, Cassandra.
You know, I get excited. My very strong ear must have knocked me off my muscular earlobes.
I knew you were coming back there. I knew, but you know, you're one of those that knows exactly what to do. All you need to do is call back in, because I see what happens. But anyway, I was moving on to adding supplements to your diet as well. I believe in them a lot. I know that there are, you know, a bold daily vitamin, calcium supplements, D3, selenium, vitamin C. Just do your own research.
Yes.
I think that if you've been told by a doctor that there's something going on, I think it's good to find a good nutritionist or pharmacist who can tell you what supplements may work. Because what you may not know is some of the med stuff you're taking are some of those supplements, actually. So at least some combination of that, but you might be able to use the supplement and get the job done. But be sure you look into that. I think that we should make sure that we get our exams just because I think it's good. Of course, mammograms, you know, men, women, whoever, it doesn't matter. We need to kind of stay on top of those things as well. And you know, that I think that those are the critical ones, and all the stuff Cassandra said. Anything you want to add to that before we go to your habits?
I again just want to stress that we talked about some kind of accelerated workouts and training and thought. I just want to again stress that aging in large part because of what we believe about aging. If you don't believe that a 50 or 60 or 70-year-old person should be going to the gym or jogging in the morning or working out or laughing or loving or living, then you stop doing those things. But the best way to prove that that is not the case is to stay in your life. And all of the things that we talked about have so much to do with your psyche. Working out makes me feel invincible and fabulous and good. And even when the endorphins wear off, I'm still okay. You know?
Yeah.
Now go on.
I agree. So anyway, we hope you hang your expectations on some of the things that we've just explained and move forward on that. Second point, your habits. Bad habits produce bad results, people. I mean, that formula, I didn't make that up. And there's so many. I didn't, as I said earlier, I'm not trying to be nosy, but we know some stuff about that, and you already know anybody listening knows a lot of the bad things we can do to ourselves, and we know food is one of those at the top of the list. I don't want to get into anybody's other real personal things that you might be doing on the regular, but we can talk about food, and I think and stay safe. It's interesting because I eat a lot of stuff. I don't deny myself too much, but I have learned that I do things I choose when I'm doing it. I choose moderation. I choose overall healthy choices overall. That's the most dominant thought I have about getting in proteins and vegetables and juices, fruit, and all of that kind of stuff. And I moved into that. You know, your body just does metabolize a little bit differently once you do get to certain stages. But the exercise can certainly work toward making sure you do keep burning your food very efficiently. But something I do know positively, and Cassandra, you can speak to this as well. And I wrote an article about this on my Boxy Things Facebook page, and I want to say this because this is just so important. If you're eating a lot of the wrong things, and even if you're eating a lot of the right things, and you're not trying to clear your system on a daily basis, food will be sitting there. I mean, if you haven't pooped, you know, if you haven't burned it, it's sitting there. If you haven't flushed it with water and tea and, you know, the things that are going to help you have a cleaner system. I've seen a lot of information online just recently as if it's a brand new discovery, and probably it is for a lot of people, that so much of what's going on to be healthier is actually in your gut. Well, if you're not cleaning that gut, if you're not keeping that gut flushed, you know, it sits there. If you can just think of, I mean, that's why we flush our toilet. We don't want it sitting there. So you flush your system. It's the similar concept. It's the same concept. Get that stuff out of you. Because once it's in there, it's not delicious like when you ate it. It turns into something else.
You know what else it does, Silver?
Come on.
You know what else it does? It affects your skin. It affects the health of your hair. I mean, we are, and there's so many beauty products, and I have quite a few in my own possession. There's so many hair care products, and I have more than a few also. But I know for a fact that my skin and my hair are healthy because I drink water, because I pay attention to what I'm eating, and because of what I put in my body. There is no way. I mean, topical. The best thing for your skin, if your diet is not healthy, is some heavy foundation that's going to hide the complexion. Is the best thing for the kid. But those other, like topical products, cute concept, but any kind of long-lasting effects, they don't offer. They can't offer. Because whatever we put in, it's the same as our thinking. Our life is an outpouring. Our life is a manifestation of what is on the inside, what is in our thoughts, what is behind our habit. As Silver said, what's in your gut. And, you know, Silver, I also want to say, I jotted this down as you were talking about elimination. One of the easiest and most natural things that I have ever tried is aloe vera juice. And because I drink water like crazy. And maybe once a week, I will do like a large bottle of water, drink 1/3 aloe vera juice, and it's so smooth, no cramping, no anything. And we know aloe has a lot of healing properties. And so again, as we say for all of this, the good thing about the internet is do your own research. Google everything, research everything, especially before you decide to ingest or try anything. Do your own research on it. But I've been doing aloe juice for years, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And it's because, of course, like say, for example, as we talk again about elimination, reverse of that is constipation, which is not good in any kind of way because that food is rotting and sitting in your gut. Toxins and all sorts of stuff, which is not good for anything.
Exactly.
And yet, still, many laxatives, if they're not natural, can be very harsh and create a lot of cramping. Aloe vera juice is very natural. It is natural. It's aloe vera juice, 100% pure, and it just works every time.
Well, let me let me say something too. I buy a little bottle of castor oil. I put just a drop in some tea most every day. Just a drop. I mean, not even. I mean, you can barely see it. Just a drop. Well, when I ran out several months ago, maybe it's even been a year ago, and I was looking for it and I couldn't find it, so I asked the pharmacist to help me get it, and he knew right where it was. And he said to me, he asked me, well, what do you do with this? And I told him just what I just explained. And he said, you know what? People don't know. He said, if you do that, like for 3 or 4 months straight, your system will be so healthy. I said, well, you know what? You told the right person. I kind of knew that, but I'm certainly going to be sure I share it with people. Now, again, people should keep in mind that castor oil, if you take a whole spoonful, don't do that.
We were forced to as children,
and
I'm having panic attack flashbacks over here, though I don't believe in either, but still, because we were. But Mama knew. She lined us all up, and I think it was again about once a month, or I don't know, once a week. Way too frequent. It felt like every day, and she'd squeeze our nose. Oh God, it was horrible. But yeah, there are other ways, and you can even take it in pill form. You can even take them in pill form if you want. Yeah.
But it really gets the bugs out. It gets the, it keeps things moving very, very well. And again, you don't want to do it so that you really feel like you've taken castor oil. So please understand what I'm saying. That is not what you do. As I said, the drop is like a little, I can't even, maybe like a little teardrop, maybe not even that big. Just enough. You don't even taste it in your tea with some lemon. But it's something that, again, will help. And I know, I'll say it for anybody, and the pharmacist, he confirmed it for me. It will really help you. And it's amazing when you get your system, when you get your gut clean, how you start feeling about food and drinking water. You will want it. Your body will naturally make you feel the thirst is the right kind of thirst. Again, I don't want to kill people's habits because, we're not physicians and we're not dietitians and all of that. And I know people drink a lot of soda and other stuff and all, and I that's not really where I want it to go with the conversation. We just want to make sure we encourage you to do the best things, the right things that will promote promote optimum health for you. That's the thing to do. And don't make excuses that you can't give up certain things and you can't stop doing that. Yes, you can. Do it gradually. Do it gradually. You can get it. You can get it done. But those bad habits that are producing bad results, the only way to get around that is to just stop. That's all you can do with that. But the good things they're gonna produce good results for you. That's just the dynamic. That's just how it works. I didn't make that up.
True.
That's just how it works. It's not an Einstein formula. That's just how it works. The better you do for yourself, the better you're going to look, and the better you're going to feel as a result as well.
Yes.
So we're just going to stay in the area of those food choices because that was just really a big one under habits. Just one other thing. I do want to mention one other thing. And again, this is one of those things where you have to look at your life, but it's very important to minimize and eliminate as many stressors as you possibly can out of your life.
Oh, my God.
Get that weight off of your shoulders. Get that weight out of your heart. Get that worrying off of your mind. And so you can feel better. So you can feel better in your person. Because all of that does affect your body and how, it just does. Again, it's one of those things that I didn't make up the formula. That stuff works against you and how you feel about yourself and aging as well. Anything you want to say about that, Cassandra?
You know, again, we're talking about a few things that have to do with the choices that we make. And we're not saying that, especially if you're not used to doing these things, we're not necessarily saying that it's easy and it might not all be fun. But think about what you want and how you want to live, especially if you haven't died yet, you're still here, and tomorrow will be another day older. How do you want to do that time? How do you want to spend your time? A lot of people just want to ride themselves on out and lay where they fall until they die. I'm not going out that way. And there's a phrase that I have. Yeah, exactly. There's a phrase that I say often is old enough to do the right thing. You know, when I was younger, it's like, yeah, I knew, but I didn't care. I'm young. I'm going to live forever. Well, now I'm old enough. Now I'm grown enough to be able to make the decisions that are going to benefit me. And I'm smart enough to discipline myself to do them. And it works.
Yes. Yes.
And it pays off.
Indeed. Well, that brings us to our last point. Believe it or not, we're down to like 18 minutes. So we'll say everything we can. We'll wrap up. But I have happiness, your happiness. And I just believe that we need to make our happiness, and you were just kind of talking about some of that, Cassandra, make happiness the number one thing on your list. Your happiness, the number one thing on your list. When we get older, there are a lot of things in life that have come into our lives that we become a part of. You know, families have enlarged, extended families, children, grandchildren, all of that stuff. And certainly, I don't mean eliminate them, but I'm saying there are things that may be causing you additional stress and worry, things that may be complicating your life, like a relationship could be, causing you just a lot of unhappiness. I'll just put it out there that way. And, you have to, again, the wisdom at this point in our lives, which is something we really should be paying attention to because we can do it. We can do what we want to do. We can make the choices to do certain things that help us toward better living. We should be choosing to live better as we get older. We can't stop aging. We are not. I don't care what I do. I don't care how well I eat. I don't care how well I exercise. I don't care what happiness things I put on my list. I'm not going to get any younger. That's not going to happen. I know that. I'm good with that. But what I do know is that I can feel good. I can choose to eat things that are going to contribute to me feeling good, and I can also choose things that are going to contribute to me feeling happy and content in life. I can choose that, and I can choose to eliminate those things, minimize things, and I don't mean that you just have the scissors that you can cut off things. Some of it you got to work with until it's out. But whatever you have to do, again, we're talking about mastering how we do our life. And some of it you can cut off. But other things, you have to, maneuver, go slow until you got it like you want it. But the thing is, realize that you do have the power to do those things, to make those choices. Unfortunately, what we do when we get older, we really think we've lost power because we're older. Yes. We feel like we're not even valuable. In some cases, we feel like we've reached, we're in a group now of people that don't really matter in life. And that is just all untrue. And, you've got to be what you need to be for you and make you and your happiness the important thing and prioritize that. Sometimes we just really are depending too much on other people to make that a happening for us. And, that's just an untruth that all of us had to learn, probably the hard way, that other people aren't responsible for making us feel happy or be happy. We create that dynamic. We do that. We do that by choices. We do that by
Yes, we
elimination
do.
of certain things in our life. I don't like that job. I'm going to find me a job I do like. I don't like that neighborhood. Well, I'm going to go live in a neighborhood where I feel good and I feel safe. And the list goes on and on and on. But you have to be the one to master those moves in your life, to master those decisions for doing whatever you need to do to bring contentment. Contentment and happiness is a critical point, I feel, as we're in this stage of life. I feel it's so important. And pay attention to it. You know, I have on this a bullet, you know, choose enjoyment. Do the things that you like, and everything doesn't have to cost a fortune to do. Right now, it seems like we can't do a whole lot, but that's going to change. Go to the theater. Go do the things that bring you joy. Don't feel like because you've gotten to a certain age that those things just don't matter. They do. If they only matter to you, it's what you should do for yourself. And then keeping your attitude straight. When we start to make excuses, guess what happens? We start to get cranky and judgmental about everything everybody else is doing. We see other people having a life and doing things. We tend to get all caught up in that, and wow, is that a way to self-ruin? So be careful about that. And I don't know who this is for, but I wrote it down, and it's just between you and God. But I think having a healthy sex life, if you can, have one. I think that's really important. And, I don't have to elaborate. You know how it works. So if that can be on your list of things to be able to do, don't think you're too old. That was really what I meant. Don't think you're too old to not engage in that level of intimacy. A lot of people do think that, and that's just not true. I thought of this joke. I know I told this years ago, but I'm going to share it again today because I think it drives home the point in a very funny way. But there was this young woman about to get married, and so she had some questions about life and marriage. And one of the things she asked her mother, she said, "Mother, when do you stop wanting to have sex?" And her mother was a little surprised and embarrassed too. She said, "Oh, I don't know. Go ask your grandmother." And so she went to her grandmother and she said, "Grammy, how old are you when you stop wanting to have sex?" She said, "Child, don't ask me something like that. Go ask Big Mama." So she went and asked her really old Big Mama. She said, "Big Mama, I'm trying to find out, how old are you when you stop wanting to have sex?" She said, "Child, you're going to have to ask somebody older than me." Big Mama was
my
like,
goodness.
"That feeling does not go anywhere." I know it's it kind of drives home the point, but I know from conversations and things like that with other people that does not that does not have to have to put that on the shelf. And I just want to encourage you to keep that part of your life if you're if you can vibrant and believing in yourself until you make the connections. If you're married already, try to keep that alive, because again, something like that is a very important critical part of a relationship. And sometimes, again, when we get older and we're feeling we're not attractive and all of that stuff, it's just not true. We just buy into some of the untruths that have been taught to us. So keep that in mind as well. What would you like to say, Cassandra?
Well, you have really run the gamut here, and I had made some notes, and you really kind of almost ticked every one of them. But one of the things that I definitely want to say is happiness is a decision that we make. It is a story that we decide is going to be our story, and we stick to it no matter what. And the best way to be able to stick to that story, because we're always telling stories, We're always telling stories to ourselves. And the stories that we tell determine the reactions that we have. The reactions that we have determine our joy or our outrage, our peace or our upset. I think about, I study science of mind. And one of the things that we study is how Jesus had the power that he had. Jesus looked at the lame man. He looked at Lazarus. He looked at the feast with not enough food to feed the people. He looked at the sea, and he didn't see anything wrong with any of that. And when we don't see anything wrong with something, when we're not judging, when we're not looking to find fault, because you will find what you're looking for, then we automatically have peace. When I look out and I don't see what's wrong, and I can't find a fool or a thug or a vixen or a villain, if I can't find anything wrong, then I have peace. Well, the decision not to judge is the same decision to be happy. Everything is what it is. And with me, it's okay. But it is what it is. And our judgment doesn't change it one bit. As a matter of fact, every time we judge and every time we criticize, it really eats away at us a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would definitely say, stop judging. Decide to be happy. Stop looking for what's wrong with anybody or anything. Everything. Stop looking for what's wrong. There was such, I think it was probably late 80s, early 90s when the whole gratitude journal was like the big thing, all the hype. But there is great power in looking at what you have to be grateful for. Silver, another thing that I have disciplined myself to do for a couple of weeks now, and now I really want to, I really enjoy it, is meditate. They say God's always talking to us, Spirit's always talking, but we have to turn off the noise and stop the rantings and ramblings in our mind to be able to hear it. And so that is definitely something that I am doing for my well-being, as I am purposing myself to sit still for a half an hour. And sometimes, honestly, I fall asleep. But God's not tripping, and neither am I. It's a discipline that you have to build, and I'm building it.
That just means you need a nap.
Exactly. And as I said,
and I
now,
have that on my list, actually.
Yes, and now I really look forward to it. I really look forward to it. And the other thing that I had was love more. Now, Silver talked about like that between the sheets kind of love, and I ain't mad about that at all. But love, just love. Look out at the world in love. When you hear yourself identifying somebody doing something wrong, sprinkle some love on it. Love more. It feels good. Just love more. If you can get some love, and that's good too, but just love more. Love yourself more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I did not want to make it sound like I wasn't talking like some love needed to be wrapped up in that thing, because I did mean that too. But
I know you did.
I'm glad you shared that point.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to wrap, and I am going to take this time to share something that we've been talking about, just to get people to know that we've got something coming and get your appetite ready for it, because Sandra and I are getting ready to launch Master Your Mindset classes by subscription. And I'm so excited about that, and you'll be seeing that rolling out on our Facebook pages. So we're just excited, and I just wanted to share it because it's coming, and we know that it's going to be one of the most dynamic offerings that anybody could sign up for and engage in. We just love what we do because we love you. We love people, and we love what we are able to share from our lives and experiences. It's just necessary. We couldn't not do it. And so we are going to launch a very special program very soon. And again, you'll see more about it. We'll continue this program, but that's going to be an exciting venture that I felt like I needed to go ahead and tell you about. So stay tuned for that for sure. Cassandra, thank you so much for sharing today. We're down to a couple minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I know you've been a busy girl all day, and so have I, so time for us to take a few minutes to go ahead and switch gears and chill. But you know how much I appreciate you doing what you do and saying what you say. That's why I call you the superstar, our girl, because you know your stuff, and I appreciate it. So
it is always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And as you said, we do love you, and we know what we're talking about. We live it every day, and we know it works. Mm-hmm. We know it works.
That's right.
Thank you, Silver.
That's right. All right, sis. You have yourself a good evening. I'll talk to you. I think we're going to talk Wednesday.
Yes.
All righty. Love you.
Love you, too.
All right. Okay, I want to thank you all for hanging in there. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. We went all into your neighborhoods, I know, like I said I would, because we just need to see what you need to do with some of the, all of us have been guilty of some really junky thinking. And so the more we can learn about how to live more positively and think more positively is a good thing. So, all right, well, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to look forward to talking to you again soon on next Monday. I'm going to reschedule a show with Mr. Byron Nelson. We're going to be talking about the elements of success. So please mark your calendars for that. You do not want to miss what this dynamic gentleman has to say. He is phenomenal. So until the next time, people, be good, be blessed, be awesome, stay safe. I'll look forward to talking to you next week.